This is Omar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're at the O2. I'm joined by the Cobra himself, Mr. Carl Froch. We've just seen Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk weigh in, but before that, just want to know how this tour with George Groves came about.
We got our heads together when we met at an event with a guy called Dean McGuinness who does memorabilia and stuff, and he just said, I've got an idea to put a tour on. You know, there's a lot of people now been stuck indoors, bored stiff, in lockdown, etc., with what's been going off lately. So do you fancy doing it? I went, listen mate, if you stick it on there, see what feedback you get, and if people are sick of hearing me and George talk, and I thought George would have been sick of me telling people how I knocked him out in front of 80,000 at Wembley, but apparently not. He still enjoys listening to it, and they're going well, they're selling really well. So there's 10 dates. Me and Groves are going around the country for 2 months, and have a bit of fun.
Mad to think you're kind of pals now.
Yeah, most definitely. Listen, he's grown up a lot. I've calmed down a lot. He's got kids. We've both got children, and when you have kids, you change a little bit, and you grow up. You have to grow up fast. And Groves is a nice guy. He's a nice guy. You know, when you're fighting and someone says something and you're fighting them, you get upset quick, and it riles you up. And when you've got a job to do and you get disrespected, you can react certain ways. But time's a good healer. We change in time. My personalities change. We become different people. And me and Groves now, we're on a good even keel. We're never going to be on each other's Christmas card list, but we're amicable enough to go out and give the fans something that they'll enjoy.
Very interesting. I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this will come to specific dates on that tour. Carl, Joshua comes in at £240, Alexander Usyk just above 221. Did you expect that, the shapes they were both in?
Yeah, Anthony Joshua was at his optimum fight weight, around about the 17 stone mark, and the Usyk's put a little bit of weight on, put a bit of timber on, but just he's not put too much on where I'm concerned that he's going to be slow and sluggish and run out of steam. So I'm expecting, based on the weights, it's going to be a great fight.
Do you expect it to be cagey early on?
I do, because boxing usually is. It's not often you go out there and you just go hell for leather from round one, unless you're worried about something. Me against Lucien Butte, for example, I thought to myself, I need to stick it on him, otherwise I'm going to get outboxed here by a tricky southpaw who's unbeaten. So I just thought, let him know early on, and I backed him up, and I was able to walk through a couple of shots. I've got a solid chin, as you know, the granite chin Cobra, and I took my licks, took a few left cross counters, walked through them, and smashed him to bits. That was the game plan, but I don't think AJ will have a reckless game plan like that. I think he's going to try and box and move a little bit, but he should stamp his authority early on. He should get behind that jab and put the right hand to the chest or the body and try and take centre of the ring as much as he can, try and take control of the ring and manoeuvre Usyk around. Usyk's going to be clever, he's great with his feet, he's technically so proficient, he's naturally talented. He's definitely the better boxer in there. But this is a fight, and Anthony Joshua's bigger and stronger, he's got longer reach, and he's going to feel the power of AJ, and when he does, it's whether he can cope with it.
Okay. From the two previous fights that Anthony's had against Pulev and the second fight with Ruiz, do you think he's changed, or the first fight with Ruiz has changed him, the loss?
Yeah, I think the first fight changed him because he's a bit more cagey. I don't know what it's like to get knocked out. I know what it's like to get knocked down and think about, that shot caught me and I can be hurt, but I still didn't let it bother me too much because I got off the ground to win. Both times I got knocked out. I got knocked out against Jermaine Taylor, I got knocked down in the third round, and Grovesy boy done me in the first round in that first fight, and I got up to win. So I never thought to myself, I've got a problem here. I could get caught and flattened and ironed out. Amir Khan knows all about that. He gets ironed out regular in his fights, and we've seen it. When you've got a bit of a glass jaw, it's a problem. Anthony Joshua hasn't got a problem with his chin, and he won't have a problem with his chin against Usyk.
Do you think he's still vulnerable against Usyk, though?
Yeah, potentially, because the loss against Ruiz made him think, hang on a minute, I can be hurt here, and I can run out of steam. So he's going to be thinking about that, but he can't let it get into his head too much. He's world champion for a reason. He's Olympic gold medalist for a reason, Anthony Joshua. So he should go into this fight really confident that he's the bigger, stronger man, tell himself he's the better man, and take control from the first round. Because if he allows Usyk to get his rhythm and get into a flow and get comfortable and confident, that could be a serious problem.
Okay. I just want to read some quotes from Tyson Fury about Usyk v Joshua. Keep hitting that target. Sooner or later, the big bodybuilder will fall apart at the seams, like an old, cheap cushion falling to bits. He runs out of ideas quite quickly. He's a one-trick pony. Thoughts on them comments?
Who said that?
Tyson Fury.
Of course he did. thoughts on that are Tyson Fury's a legend, let's be honest. I mean, he's also got the gift of the gab, hasn't he? But you can't really take them kind of comments to heart or take them too serious. It's Tyson Fury just doing what he does, having a bit of a tongue-in-cheek banter and saying that to maybe, I don't know why he'd want to get into AJ's head. He should want AJ to win this fight and he should get the job done against Wilder. Because if he doesn't, we won't have the biggest fight in British boxing history, you know, between two undisputed, well, two heavyweights, British heavyweights for the undisputed title. That's what we want. So, yeah, I mean, AJ, he's professional. He's not arsed. He'll go in there and get the job done to the best of his ability. If it doesn't work out for him, he'll have a plan B. You know, he's still a massive draw, but this fight needs to be won, and it needs to be won by any means necessary. He hasn't got to look pretty doing it. He ain't got to impress anybody. He's got to get in there and execute the game plan that's in place by Rob McCracken, who's a genius, by the way. And I think he'll be okay, but this is, by no real argument, in my opinion, his hardest fight. Okay. It's got to be.
We'll find out tomorrow live on Sky Sports Box Office. Just want to get your thoughts on a couple of more things, please, Carl. I bumped into Roy Jones Jr., who's in London last night. What's going on there? Is the kind of talks died down? There was a little bit of talk of potentially you two having a fight, but it's all gone quiet. Can you give us an update?
Yeah, well, I suppose I'll give you an update. Yeah, I was approached by a promotional company. I won't mention who it was. It said that we could make this happen, this exhibition. And I've had a look at some exhibitions lately, and I've not been that impressed with what's happened. Example, I mean, Mike Tyson and Roy Jones fight was okay. It was watchable. I mean, it didn't set the world alight. You're not going to re-watch it, but it was decent. But the whole thing in that was the anticipation of this legend, Mike Tyson. I mean, Roy Jones, a legend as well, but Mike Tyson getting back in the ring after so many years out. How's he going to be? How's he going to look? What's he going to look like? What's he going to do? And when you saw the fight, you soon realised that not a great deal. You know, this guy's past his best. He retired for a reason, and really they shouldn't be fighting. Let's be honest. Evander Holyfield, I mean, I think they made the front page of the Boxing News headed atrocious. You know, it's not getting good press, this kind of thing. So I spoke to the promoters and I said, look, this has got to work. We've got to acknowledge that it's an exhibition. You know, two guys in the ring having a dance around and having a move around. But what is it? Is it a fight? Is it an exhibition? Is it a showcase? What we're trying to do, we're putting an event on. So we're trying to work out what's what. But to be honest, I can't get in the ring and do an exhibition, because I know that if I get hit in the nose, I'm going to be pissed off, and I'm going to try and hit the guy back. So there'll be no softy, slappy, touchy feely like sparring sessions for me. So if it's someone like Roy Jones, I spoke to him in Dallas when I worked with him. I said, listen, mate, I'm going to be throwing shots. I can't pull my punches. I can go to the body a little bit, but if you're prepared to have a bit of a heavy spar, I'm prepared to have a heavy spar. Let's stick 14-ounce gloves on so there's no real damage. 14-ounce gloves, by the way. I used to knock people out in sparring with 16-ounce gloves on. So it's still a fight. But if we can make it happen and people want to see it and the promotional company can bring it together, then I'll do it. But at the minute, you know, nobody's come to me with a realistic offer or anything that's solid that tells me we can do this event. But I've progressed talks with a contact in Dubai recently, and things are progressing and they're looking good. I've got a lawyer involved. We're putting together a business proposal, and it might not just be Roy Jones. It might be Mikel Kessler. You know, we're 1-1. We're 1-1, and we could have a rematch. We're not going to try and kill each other. You know, we never do in boxing rings, but you know, we'll have a proper fight. Me and Kessler. We're both proud men. How about Joe CALZAGHE? How does that sound? You know, let's get Joe CALZAGHE out of retirement. I know he spoke the other week saying he fancies an exhibition. Okay, it'll be an exhibition, but we'll have bigger gloves on. We're not trying to ruin each other, but it'll be a fight. It'll be something the fans could get excited about. So that's where we're at with it now, trying to put something together that maybe the fans are going to be excited about, rather than just, you know, trying to con the public and bring in wheeling Evander Holyfield or, you know, some old fighter like Riddick Bowe or someone that shouldn't be in the ring. I want to make it proper, make an event of it.
Would that be your number one, Joe CALZAGHE?
You know what? Joe CALZAGHE would take an exhibition fight with me. Let's be quite frank. It wouldn't be an exhibition, would it? I'm not going to be able to say to Joe, look, just take your time with me, work the body, and I'll take my time with you. And then he hits me with a right hand on the chin, because he's got fast hands, the boy has, and he's going to catch me. Then I'm going to get annoyed and I'm going to try and smack him in the face. And before you know it, the 8-2-minute round exhibition becomes an all-out slugfest. But that could be the appeal. People might think, hang on a minute, these two aren't going to take the time. And that could make sense. Maybe Joe CALZAGHE looks at this and says, you know what, fancy a bit of that. Maybe not. Let's have a look.
Wow, okay. David Haye calling out Tyson Fury. Thoughts? Can we take that seriously?
Well, based on that performance against his mate from Dubai, no. But there's a problem with ranking. Is Tyson Fury just going to give him a voluntary straight up? And you know, everybody, when I talk to them, I mean, David Haye's my mate. I think the best of him, and I haven't really got a bad word to say about him. But you know, I'm renowned for being straight and being honest, and I don't care if I upset anybody. You know, David Haye saw what happened to him against Tony Bellew. So can he get in the ring with Tyson Fury? Of course he can't. No, that's my answer to that one.
And last one, strong rumours that we are actually going to see Amir Khan v Kell Brook finally. What do you think about that, Carl?
Tell me what platform it's on and I can give you an answer.
I don't think that's been confirmed. I think Sky, DAZN, I think Tough Promotions are involved in talks as well. I think there's a lot of people talking to Amir and Kell.
Yeah, I think it's 5 years too late. It was an interesting fight 5 years ago, but not now.
Do you have a winner in that?
What's Kell Brook like now? It's Amir Khan. No, I don't. I can't really get excited about it because I've seen Amir Khan perform and underperform and get knocked out that many times. He's been out of the ring so long, and Kell Brook struggled. He's injured. You know, it's like putting two knackered old battered cars where the engines are blown, the head gasket's gone. You know, one of the wheels got a flat tyre on it, and they're going to try and have a race around the circuit. You know, it won't work. And to be honest, there might be an appetite for this. I might be wrong. Khan might get himself in shape. Kell Brook might have one last dance in him. But for me, the fight should have happened ages ago. I think it's done and dusted. And it comes to a point where it looks like you're trying to con the public, and the public aren't stupid. You know, they're going to look at that and go. I think the feedback on that anyway is very much this fight should have happened ages ago. Is there an appeal for it? If it was on, would I watch it? Probably. Of course I would. I'm a boxing fan. I'm gonna tune in. But that fight, unfortunately, should have happened a long time ago. It's really annoying that fight never happened. I wanted to see Ricky Hatton fight Junior Witter back in the day. That's another fight that never happened. And you know, me and CALZAGHE, that's a fight. I mean, I'm talking about me fighting CALZAGHE, but it's exhibition. It's 8 2-minute rounds. So you know, maybe that format would be better for Kell Brook and Amir Khan. Maybe not. Let's see.
Carl Froch, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. We'll see you at Tottenham Hotspur tomorrow night, all right?
You certainly will. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.